Good morning. Only the 4 matches, but a lot of goals, as you can see yesterday. Any real trading angles? Well, just the one, a 2-0 lead for Finland under 21, very gettable. Did give you the half-time option to keep your liability very low, but the Netherlands did strike second half. Second goal was very, very late. So if you laid Finland and backed Netherlands, hopefully you'd have got out with a profit on that lay of Finland. Germany, very, very efficient. England were excellent as well, normally keeping clean sheets. So pity the Czech Republic didn't score first. Tennis yesterday, always worth keeping an eye on as we're entering the Wimbledon element of the season. And let's have a look. I would ignore the Davis Cup, just move to the competitive ATP and WTA. Daniil Medvedev expected to win. What a pity Mannarino didn't win the first set in the tiebreaker. That would have been a good angle in. Favourite wins again. Favourite wins the first set again, but loses the match. We've seen that quite often. Is there a common factor in these odds-on favourites on grass? Winning the first set, losing the next, or losing the match. So no real trading angles yesterday. Humbert thought Danny Evans would be a little more competitive. I think it was worth taking on that Humbert first set lead, but obviously the market getting that one correct. Stuttgart, you'd be looking at the Germans to dominate in Stuttgart, which indeed Zverev did, and Engels. Potential shock result. I wish Mickelson had won the first set, and that would have been a 3-setter. As things were, not quite below 1.09, which I like to lay out, but you can see these shorties. Locals in their local tournament do tend to perform above expectation. In the ladies' game, well, you didn't see any 3-setters yesterday. So at the first set, winner won the match. Can't see any strong angles apart from this one. I think I'd have been tempted in here, given the fact that it was a first set tiebreaker win for Lamens. And Leah kept Lamens competitive. Did Leah go ahead at any stage to offer us traders that angle out? So let's have a look. Second set. We're looking at, there we go. Nope, she lost a set. Yes, we had the break there. So in tennis, that's your first cash out, because the market's going to be assuming a comeback for the favourite. You have to be Teresa Caputo, of course, to get straight out, not knowing she's going to lose the next service matches. So again, she's broken there. So that's your second potential angle in, but very vulnerable on serve as well. So that was a potential trade there. Getting out. Trade the hint, not the outcome. That is a perfect example of that. Looking on to today, we've got 4 out of 4 odds-on favourites. Humbert, we saw one yesterday. Karen Kachanov against Diallo. I think Diallo could be a little more competitive. Daniil Medvedev should get the better of Opelka. I don't know enough about Bergs, but I do know, no, he's not in Stuttgart, is he? He's German in, not even German, Belgian. So he might like this one. Local lad-ish. 63rd against 195th. The rankings are certainly with Bergs. And you can check individual grass court form. And you can see they both enjoy the grass court, but it's all dependent on the quality of the opponent, of course. You can see beating Denoli, Opelka, Gier. So a good run. And if the form goes back to 2024, that's the problem with the early grass court form. But let's have a look at the football for today. We've got our Irish friends returning, Irish Premier Division and Irish First Division. With Cork City and Bohemians, it's Cork City, who like both teams to score at home against the Bohemians, who like collecting 1-0 results. So the form lines don't pull in the same direction, making that angle a little difficult. Cork City with their both teams to score element, and Bohemians keeping clean sheets of late. I would lay Cork City if Cork City scored first. Expectation as well for second half goals in this one. Well, the recent form is certainly with Derry City. I think 3 wins in 4 at home recently, scoring in the last 9. Both teams scored in the head-to-heads. That might be an angle. But Derry's home form gives them favouritism here. But they're only just odds on. Shelbourne concedes 70% in the first half. Shamrock, if they're to get anything out of this, they'll have to break through in the first half. Interesting market here with Shamrock 2.3 for a side of their calibre. Those odds are very strange. No defeat and 6 away. Both teams did score in the head-to-heads, and they were score draws. That might be the reason why the market's not letting go of Shelbourne today. But the form is with Shamrock. They get on well on the road as well. 0-0s in head-to-head between these two, so 0-0 may be in play. With Drogheda not winning in 5 away in St Pat's, scoring 2+ goals at home. Again, the home favourites today look very generous indeed on paper. Trust issues with these two dodge pots. Athlone score the vast majority of their goals second half. That would be the only real angle in. Got to be careful trusting some sides. These two are going to be perennial relegation fodder if there is a relegation zone in the First Division. Very strong second half bent goals-wise for both of these two. UCD still have problem against the top 4, so I expect that to continue against Dundalk today. Well, both teams scored in their head-to-heads, but like Athlone and Kerry, we've got a couple of recently out-of-form sides. Top 4 clash Treaty United and Bray, but the problem we have is both Treaty United and Bray, when they meet the top 4, fellow top 4, they don't tend to perform well, and they're meeting fellow top 4 today. So some matches are just not readable in play, as you can see. 3 out of 3 wins for Sandviken, be 13th and lower. For me, that creates a little bit of value in their away odds, but the Superettan, like Treaty United, Bray and Athlone Kerry, we've got some dodgy teams involved there. But certainly on paper, I would be favouring Sandviken, but do remember 2.3 the favourite tells you a story. Well, that's it today on the football front. Quick look down the coupons. Nakashima could trouble Zverev today, I think. Zverev might be layable if he wins the first set, particularly if the odds are low enough. Taylor Fritz continuing back from injury. Engel, Agoreliciem, certainly the better player by far on the rankings there. And looking at the London, you've got 2 Americans meeting each other. Navarro might know, and it's a Movers game, a bit better than other countries. Emma Raducanu playing in her home tournament, but she's expected to have trouble today. That suggests laying Emma if she wins the first set. Zheng is likely to be very, very efficient. Rybakina can be laid at 1.08. You saw we picked up 2 or 3 of those in the French Open, which I like. Laying at 1.08 and lower. The only real way is up, isn't it? If you're a backer, it's not a good proposition. Kudermetova and Alexandrova, again, 2 players know each other from the same country. We might see an angle there. So, Irish football today dominates the coupon. Some readability about, but also there's some unreadability. Treaty United, Athlone Kerry. Some matches you just can't read pre-match. You'll have to rely on the in-play stats. A couple of apparently strong home favourites in Derry City and St Pat's. Be watching out for them. Dundalk should have too much for UCD, who just seem to falter against the top 4 away from home, even though they're having a good season themselves. So some readability this evening. I hope to be up and about. Normally a day off for me on a Friday, but it's been a very quiet international break, hasn't it? Tomorrow we've got the return of the Euros. Spain favourite. France I think, yet to win. 0-0. Must win. Ditto Portugal. Poland lost their opener. Must win. That's going to be a fascinating fixture. And the Italians, you can see the respect that the market's giving Slovakian, the home side, given their exploits against Spain, where they came from 2 goals down. So that's something to look out for tomorrow against Italy. 1.7 flaky favourites, and with 2 goals in an opening match, Italy can't rely on that defence and those 1-0s. Got the Superettan as well. We'll see the return of the main leagues, I would suggest, next week after the international break. The Norwegians have been involved, for example, may have some players from the top elite Serie A. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow, and I'll do a little podcast for the Irish football today for you, in case there's any injury and suspension concerns you should be looking out for. But the favourites look justified, particularly the home ones. Have a great day.